Everyone online says you need to scale with a course. And I say, sell the damn service. I'm Emily Williams, award-winning consultant and productized offer expert since 2014. And I'm here to help you work less, make more, and stop custom building your burnout. Each week, we talk strategy, structure, and the real stories behind sustainable service businesses. You know, from service providers who like doing service work, who want to stay in service work, but also just make more money. If you're ready for all that yapping, then let's dive in. All right, there we go. I took a look at your website, and I definitely think that we can chat like, what does being like a luxury service provider mean? And like, how are you able to create that as a client experience for your people? And just kind of like, I don't know if you've listened to any of these episodes, but it's literally just yapping about business. And if something comes up in your brain where you want to take it, we go there. And it's less about like how your services help people and more what you've learned as a service provider and lessons, takeaways, whatever. Does that sound good?
Yes, sounds
Okay,
perfect.
cool. I'll do like we'll have your info in the show notes, but we really just like kind of dive in with chatter. There's no formal anything. Oh, sorry. I have to give this code to my VA.
No worries. I know what code life is.
It's
Literally
so
everything.
I turned off two-factor for my Gmail because I have someone like cleaning up my account right now. And she's still every hour and a half, she has to send me a two-factor.
That is so annoying.
What
I
are we
literally think it's going
doing?
to be the death of my industry because it's crazy.
Truly. And like, I know there's a couple of softwares where you're able to share account access in a different way, but I still don't think anything has figured out how to combat two-factor.
Well, so I've been seeing these prompts to add like a pass key,
Right.
but
But that makes
I
it
don't know.
worse.
Oh, really? Because I haven't done it. I'm like, why would I do that? Doesn't that make it easier?
Be-
Like, I don't understand.
at least, and I know nothing. I don't know anything about passkeys, but in my experience, I have a joint Stripe account with a friend of mine who we have like a community together. And so we both created a new Stripe account for this community. So it could just be separate from our own stuff. And I was logging in. I started the account. I had all the information. I had to connect it to Thrivecart and like all of the things.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then she went in to connect it to the bank side of stuff. So she was like having trouble logging in, but then she accidentally created a pass key on her end. And so now I can't access it at all because it's only from her fingerprint, like her biometric pass key is what gets
Oh my
inside of Stripe.
God.
And I'm like, yeah, so I don't love this. And
Mm-mm.
removing a pass key is nearly impossible. And so it's still on our list to do because I'm like, hey, I can see the funds in Thrivecart because it comes through my Thrivecart, but I can't
Right.
see and access Stripe. And I don't love that. So I'm like, can we take your biometrics off of this account so that we can both log in? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, I know because Stripe is a big one that my clients add me to, and so I'm able to see, like,
Yeah.
the toggle drop down of, like, all of my clients, and I don't know, maybe you could add yourself as a team member or something?
Yeah.
I
I
don't
think I'm going to
know
have to
how
add
you'll.
myself as a team member to my own account.
Yeah,
And
that
I'm like,
sucks.
this is just dumb. And my assistant today, or who's coming in to clean up my Gmail, messaged me and she was like, hey, it's two-factoring again. She goes, I'm sorry, I don't get this many two-factor notifications, even for my clients who are in another country. And your account is
Well.
just like so secure. Like, okay, great.
What are you doing over there? You have government secrets in your Gmail?
Well, I wish I would. I mean, kind of I do. Some of my clients are a little bit they work with sensitive material, but I never did anything. And she was like, "I think you need to turn it off." And I said, "I didn't even know that was a thing." So,
Yeah.
I went and turned it off, but it still hasn't helped.
Wow, that's crazy.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. The two-factor thing is a pain in the rear
Mhm.
because I'm in everybody's bank
You're
accounts.
in
I'm in
all the
their
things.
Stripe, their Square, like literally. And it's not awful because we have an onboarding call where I literally make sure like we are going through every single one of your things and you're adding me as a team member at least.
Yeah.
If not, like I have all of everybody's passwords.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
just have everybody's passwords and like I use 1Password as my,
Me
secure
too.
portal. I really like it. It's
I
nice to
love
have all
one
the different
password.
vaults. Yeah, me too.
LastPass can suck it. I
Yeah, I don't like
fucking hate
LastPass.
LastPass so much. It's hideous and it never works.
It's hideous, right? It's so ugly. And then there's Bitwarden, which I think is
No, I haven't heard of
also
that one.
like it's a prettier one and it's fine, but I really like 1Password that has the vaults
Yeah.
and I can share the individual vault with my client so they can like update the passwords in their vault and I have a whole bunch of different vaults
That's exactly how
um
I use it. Team
set
One
up, yeah.
Pass. I recommended it to a client the other day, and so I was like, "Okay, do I have an affiliate for this?" Have you done the partner affiliate thing for One Pass?
No, I haven't.
It's a fucking nightmare.
Oh.
I wanna email them and be like, "Why are you making it difficult for me to share about your thing?
For you to make money, yeah, like
For
make it
you
easy
to
for
make money."
people to
Right.
pay you.
'Cause there's no free version of One Pass. You have to pay for it. It's very inexpensive, but you have to pay for it. It's this
Right.
whole, like, you have to apply to their program. Okay, you get into this account, and then you cannot go forward. You have to create your, like, business profile that basically shares, like, how do you plan on sharing One Pass, and what language do you wanna use, and who is
Mm,
your target audience, and who is this? And I'm like, "Bitch, I just want to put you in my show notes." Like, that's it.
yeah. I just wanna recommend people to you and, like, maybe get a little bit of money off of it, like, that's all I want.
You're gonna give me $3. So,
Right.
I like, the juice isn't worth the squeeze here. So I didn't finish the
Mm,
partner profile because I was like, "This is fucking stupid." Um,
yeah.
so don't recommend it.
Well, the one partner program that I am very happy with is the Relay Bank partner program. I love seeing that money hit my bank account every month.
Okay, I need to make sure I'm set up for that. I fucking want to marry Relay. It's
It's
so
incredible. I
okay,
love it.
coming from CFO, I feel like I posted about Relay about a year ago on Threads. And I was like, "I love Relay, whatever. It's the best." And someone commented and they were like, if you're fine with your information not being secure, I guess, like, use Relay." And I was like, "What are you even saying right now?" And I was like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
what?
I haven't had any issues. It's a legitimate bank." And they were like, "Well, just because you haven't had any issues doesn't mean you won't." And I was like, "Hey, Bank of America can suck my ass because they
Oh
charge
my
me
god.
$50 a month just to have a goddamn account."
Bank of America is my literal, like, arch nemesis. I fucking hate Bank of America.
Sucks so bad.
It is the one of the worst of the worst, and Chase can go right there and suck
They
it
can go
next
right to
to
hell.
yeah, yeah.
I'm dealing with Chase right now with this business collaboration I'm in, and they're literally charging us $97 a month just to have an account.
I
And I say, "For
cannot.
what? For what? I don't come into your
Literally.
fucking bank. For what?"
Right. Yeah. What are you giving
So,
me that I can't get on a free online bank? Like, what?
free. Literally what? And it irritates my husband so much because he used to work at Bank of America for years and years. And he was, like, corporate girly for so long. He does not anymore, and I love that for him. Um, and I feel very conflicted in my hatred of Bank of America because they
Mm,
legitimately have an amazing, like, benefits package for families.
okay, for
We
their
adopt
employees.
for employees, yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
adopted, and they had this, like, I mean, they would pay up to a certain amount of your adoption fees. They gave 16
Wow.
weeks paid parental leave. So not just for moms, but for every
Yeah.
parent, adoption, guardianship, it doesn't matter. 16 weeks paid. And that was in 2017. And
Wow.
so it's even better now because we were gonna adopt again and then decided not to, and so when we were doing that process, I literally told Brian he couldn't leave, he couldn't quit Bank of America until we were done having kids because their package is so good, but then we decided
Yeah.
not to, and I was like, "Okay, you can leave now."
You can
So,
be released from this.
yeah, yeah, from
Yeah.
the burden.
That's yeah, that's crazy though. Yeah, paying fees for banks, like, if I will tell literally anybody who listens, like, get off of Bank of America. First of all, Bank of America, um, interface is
It's
ancient.
garbage.
Like, it looks like it like 1999. Like, can we please update this a little bit?
Well, their login page, has not changed in, like, 20 years, and
Yeah.
I don't understand why. I don't know, Relay is just so visually better and it's simpler. Do you have any of the like, did you move your credit card over to Relay or do you still use something else?
I don't know, I don't have my credit card on Relay. They have, like, their credit card's not, like, a real credit card, is it? It's like a,
I
what did
thought it
it
was
say?
at this point. I could be
Is
wrong.
it? I'm literally logging
I
in right
thought it was
now.
like a Visa at this point because I knew they used
I
to
know they
have this.
have yeah,
Yeah.
I know they have, like, income verification on, like, you have to make a certain amount of money in order to
Mm,
qualify for the credit card. Let me see. I have a digital, like, debit
yeah,
card with
yeah,
them, and
same.
the cool thing about that is you can have as many debit cards as you want, with as many different, like, spend restrictions and limits, and, like, you can make them for employees, and, like, it's really they've got a lot of cool stuff in there.
So
Um,
do you use the profit first? Like, because they're set up as profit first mentality over there, and you can make it however you
yeah.
want, but do you follow that?
Yeah, yeah, they are the official, like, partner bank of Profit First. Wow, I've got something on my eye. Um, it's not coming off. It's just gonna be there. Okay, we're gonna live
That's
with it.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the official Profit First partner bank, and yes, I do use Profit First. I try to set up all my clients in it if they want
Yeah.
to. I have one of my clients who's like, "Do not fucking set me up," and and like Profit First. I hate it. I hate it so much. So she's got 3 accounts instead of like the 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
just uses like a modified version of it.
That's funny. I was really profit first resistant for a long time because I had a just very unhealthy relationship with my money and wanted to avoid the conversation and was just like, I just need to pay the bill and pay myself, pay the bill, pay myself. Like, there's nothing else and taxes, and that's it. And then
Right.
it wasn't until like 6 months ago that I was like, all right, pull your head out of your ass and like figure this out. And so I now use all of the accounts. I have all five and I just have the every Thursday, it, like, does the
Mm.
rule for me, and so I pay myself every Friday at this point, and I'd like to go to every other Friday next year to just, like, keep that it feels like a more standard process. I don't really know if
Mhm.
there's any rule, but that's what I
There's
do right now.
not. Are you I mean, you're a are you an LLC taxed as a sole
Yeah,
proprietor?
I'm
Okay, yeah.
single LLC, yeah.
Yeah. So, then technically you don't have any rules really about
I
paying
don't have any
yourself?
rules. Yeah, yeah,
Literally, like, just the transfers is what you need to be
yeah,
doing,
yeah. I've
but
been an
it does look
escort
better
before.
as far as, like oh, you have?
Yeah, I've been an escort before. I had a company that I ran for about 8.5 years that was much larger, and we were an S corp. And so I've been an LLC and then an S corp and then went back to an LLC. And
Yeah.
so I'll be waiting for the like I can't remember what the financial threshold to where it makes sense for a single LLC to move into an S corp. So I need to look that up again to see when that
I
makes
can tell you
sense.
right now, well,
Tell me.
I recommend, 60K in net income per year, which you
Shit.
might already be at.
I am at yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I
And it's
mean, it
just for
doesn't
taxes, right?
yeah, mhm. It's just a tax election, so LLC is a legal thing. So right now you're just taxed as a sole proprietor, And so if when you elect an S corp, you'll be taxed as an S corp. You're still an LLC. Either way, you'll just be taxed
Right.
as an S corp. So yeah, it's you get a better it's you become a pass-through entity, and but you have to take on the burden of payroll taxes and, payroll fees, a lot all of that kind of stuff, as well as, like, you have to have, like, board meetings with yourself if you're the only one on your board. And, like, there's just, like, weird little, like, regulations
Yeah.
that you have to follow when you're an S
I
corp.
think I remember that now. Yeah, we kept a spreadsheet because I had a business partner, and so we kept a spreadsheet of just, like, once a month or once a quarter, we would track meetings that were, like,
Yeah.
board meetings that we would have. But yeah, I don't have any employees now, and so I just didn't even think to, like, think about that, but I guess that rev goal was lower than I remembered it being. I was thinking it was, like, 250.
Well, it's net revenue, net income.
Right,
So,
right,
it can be, I mean, you could be making 500K and still not have the 60K net that I would
right.
recommend. So,
Okay. Yeah. Alright, well, I need to look at that for next year then. Thank you so much.
you're so welcome.
Maybe I'll button up some things. Well, I could sit here and talk software and everything all day long, but I wanna talk about I fucking love your kind of like unapologetic luxury stance of bookkeeping and CFO and branding and the vibe that your business brings to the table. And I was looking at your packages earlier today, and I think what we were talking about, like, on Threads when we were even talking about having you on was about providing a luxury service. And what does that mean? And what does it look like? And I am obsessed with client experience, and my word of, like, 2026 for my business, not necessarily goals, but for how I want my business to feel and shift into and prioritize, is radical transparency. So I'm
Mm.
diving all into radical transparency in 2026, and I know that for me, like, over communicating with my clients, making it really easy for them to understand where we're at or how to get support helps me to feel like I am being approachable and that I'm available and that they know to take use of all the resources that are available to them so that I can make sure that they feel really good about their investment. But I wanna know what that means to you and how you've set that up over at Hot Girl CFO.
Yeah, well, I from the very beginning, intentionality has been baked into everything that I do. Like, I've only Dog Girl CFO is only like what 13, 14 months old at this
Mhm.
point. I have been a business owner for 7 years. However, the last business that I had was much more casual, I would say.
Okay.
So like whereas the Hot Girl CFO, everything I do is with this like mindset of how can I make this the best experience in every single way possible for my clients, and not just like from onboarding to offboarding, but also in like the vibe. That's such
Yeah.
a like lame
No,
thing
I
to say, but just
yeah.
like how they perceive the experience. You know what I mean? Carrying And I will say that it is a bit of a, playing a character almost, where I'm, like, stepping into, the hot girl CFO as, like, a version of myself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And kind of putting, like, who is she? How does she act? That kind of thing, and, like, putting that costume on and kind of playing dress up a little bit. But, I really do find she is, like, a true alternate version of myself, or like a high end, like the version I wanna be her. She is like, put together. So,
Yeah.
when I interact with my clients and deliver the product, it is always through that lens of, like, being her and being professional. Yeah, it's always professional, but, like, myself. Like, I say fuck, I'm very casual and, like, very conversational, but the standard that I hold myself and the product that I deliver is very high.
Yeah. So tangibly, where do you feel like you've paid a lot of attention into that? Is it in onboarding? Is it in like a client portal, or do you think it's less tangible and in more of the vibes? And then what does that mean?
Yeah, well, it's very tangible as far as, like, I send a new client onboarding gift in this gorgeous a branded box that has, merch and goodies and stuff in it for the client, and as soon as we onboard, I take care of like, everything that I do is white gloves, so like I said, I have all of my clients' passwords. I pull all of their statements for them unless they just want to for some reason. Like,
Mhm.
I don't expect my clients, especially because most of them are mid to high six figures and on into seven figures, to have time to pull statements every single month and send them over to me. So I do that all for my clients, as well as like I have a really gorgeous branded client portal communications app. Um and I always get my clients reports packages to them by the 12th of the following month. That's like an internal, and like I communicate that to the client. And I have, yeah, just like I over communicate. I think it's a big thing as well.
Yeah.
It's like one of my biggest business values is communication.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a team right now, or is it just you?
I have just hired a bookkeeper underneath me. She's not client facing at the moment. Where she's only been with me for about a month, so.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's exciting. When you brought that person on, was there anything in even your onboarding with a team member that you feel like was luxurious or high end or over communicative? Like how are you kind of like sprinkling it into other areas?
Yeah, I have a practice manager that I just started using actually. It's one of the accounting softwares that I use is also a practice manager, so it's got a vault of its own. Even though we just talked about I use one password, I use the vault, like, to keep the links of the Loom videos, like, where the SOPs
Oh, yeah.
are for all of the individual clients. I have all the reports, statements, everything in that practice manager, which is where my bookkeeper lives as well, and she can track her time in there, and it automatically goes to my accounting software on my side and pulls up in her, like, vendor profile, so that I can pay her directly through there. So yeah, it's
Nice.
it's it's all about the the software experience as well, and, like,
Yeah.
I'm well known for being a test subject for all kinds of software. Like, I will try any type of software, like reporting software, banks, credit cards, accounting software, you name it.
What if
I will
BOA
try it.
reached out to you and they were like, "Would you try our new" What would you say?
If it was like, we wanna make improvements and, like, we have this whole new thing, I would be like, "Hell
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
let me test it for you." But I do have a partner, relationship right now with this particular practice manager where,
Nice.
um, we are, I'm trialing it out for them, and it's an arrangement, so it's pretty
That's
cool.
really cool. Yeah. I am just signed a contract to go into a partnership relationship with the software as well. Hopefully you guys will be hearing about it in the coming weeks. But it's this same thing where we hopped on a call and they asked for, like, feedback of, like, how I was liking using it and and I have all of the opinions about what I want to be, done differently or tweaked
Yeah.
or refined or whatever. And they were like, "Okay, great. We would love to invite you to our basically alpha group for rollout features before they even hit, like, the beta group." And it's a WhatsApp channel with just, like,
Wow.
all these people who are testing out the software and, like, all the brand new features and giving feedback on it before they then roll it out. And it is the most exciting place for me to be because I
Oh, I
love,
love
like,
that.
tweaking things and just, like, getting it to work perfectly for me. And because they're not gonna make the change unless it's gonna apply to so many other
Right.
people. But it's really exciting because, we were just on the call and I was like, "Could you change this?" And within, like, a week, they had updated that change and, like, tagged me in the group, and they were like, "Here, this has been
Yeah.
refined." I'm like, "Oh my god, I love this." If I could
It's
just
really cool to be, like, on the ground floor of
Yeah,
apps and, like, development and stuff like that.
yeah, because it's a lot to run and manage. Like, I've built my own very small, like, white labeled apps behind the scenes using a couple just app tools, and there are so many nuances. in part of my client experience of what I feel luxurious is making sure that my content and support is really accessible. And so I like communicating in a certain way. I'm a verbal processor, so I like to walk around and voice
Me
memo
too.
and talk, right? And I know how miserable it can be to listen to a 10-minute verbal dump from someone. And if you don't do anything with that, then it's not that helpful. I care just as much about the implementation of my advice and my strategy than getting to share it. And I've used Voxer here and there because you can speed it up, you can slow it down, you can stop it, you can download it, you can transcribe it, you can copy it. And all of that is really helpful, but it's still a like multi-step process. And
Mhm.
it requires you to have a Voxer account. It requires you to have a paid account if you want to transcribe. And so I'm like,
Mm.
I just don't love the experience of asking my clients to go download something. And then I really didn't want like I wanna be able to verbal process with you at any time. I don't want you to be able to do that with me at any time.
Okay,
You can
yeah.
submit a Loom and send that, but, like, the Voxer notifications and then going back and listening and then catching up just stresses me out. So, I built, like, my own thing where I call it Clarity Channel, and it's how my clients get support. It's where they can submit support tickets, they can, see the progress of if I'm gonna like, how I'm gonna answer a certain ticket. They can go search old tickets, and then I can click their profile and leave a voice memo, and they can either listen to the memo, they can read the AI generated summary, they can download the transcript, but my
I love
summary
this.
also gives them like, if I said, "Here, you need to do this," it will give that as a to do. And if they're waiting on me for something, I'll say that in the memo. And then if there's any deadlines, I'll mention that in the memo as well. So they can basically just copy that summary into their like project management system or note
I
tracker or
love that.
whatever. It's so cool.
And
So
you just decided to build it one day?
I just decided to make it. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is the hottest, like, that's the
I
hottest
just
girl thing I've ever heard in my
Listen,
life.
I just decide if I don't have it and if I can't find the tool, then I'm just gonna make it, and so I did, and this round of my program that, started in November is the first people who get to, like, test it, and it's
Mm,
going really well, and so it's exciting. So it's shit like
that's
that I'm
amazing.
like, "What can I make here to connect these
You
resources?"
could absolutely put that app on the App Store and have people buy it and, like,
Dude, managing it for the 23 people who are in it right now, the formatting I have to I had to, like, edit something in the code today. I mean, I'm using, like, Lovable, so I'm not coding it myself.
oh, yeah.
I'm getting help coding it with AI. It was definitely it took a couple weeks to build, but I mean, I hope it can stick around. It's really cool and get better, so we'll see. But it's, like, stuff like that. So, I just look at the process of I mean, again, for me, kind of what I was mentioning earlier of like, I was feeling guilty for like, I'm not responding to this support ticket fast enough because I need to voice memo, but I feel bad voice memoing you because you can't do anything with it. And so
Right.
when there's a roadblock like that for me, I'm like, okay, what do I need to build here? What do I need to kind of build as a support system for me and my clients in order for this to result to match what I want it to be?
And which offer is using that particular app?
So it's for sold out services. And so it's my 12-month container where service providers come in and they want to productize their offer. It's that container. So kind of another nuance about that program is that every single phase you submit like homework and I personally review it before you really move on to the next phase because it's pretty beefy project that we're doing together. And so it's that verbal ideation, brainstorming, let's talk out your submission that is just so helpful because I've designed the program where that they can submit what I call like a really refined rough draft, and then I
Yeah.
finish the last 10% with like everything I know and my expertise, and then it's like so super polished and buttoned up, but you give me something that's already pretty solid because I've supported you in doing that over here. Oh, excuse me. It's a really, really good workflow so far. So,
I love that. That's
Yeah.
fascinating.
It just yeah, and it scratches my itch of, like, "Are you guys good?" Like, do you my greatest fear is a client being like, "I don't know what to do next because it's confusing."
Yeah.
And if I can prevent that every step of the way, then I will. So, that to me is
Yeah.
luxury.
I love that. Yeah, my communication app, it's not that cool, but it is fully brandable and like it's a lot like Slack. I mean, it has the
Mhm.
channels and but the voice notes they do transcribe and you can fast forward them and stuff like that. So,
Yeah. Well, and I think certain industries don't need all the nuances that I just laid out. Like you're, I feel like asking a quick question, maybe in your strategy sessions, like you need more nuance, but yours is more, I'm imagining you're like, what's this expense? Or like, what's
no,
this
yeah.
thing over here? That's
Yeah.
such a quick conversation. And mine's like, let's talk about all of your content pillars that are going to convert your, and that's a definite more brainstorming kind of session. So, well,
Yeah.
when you take a look at 2026, which I think when this airs, it's going to be 2026. So if you look at the rest of this year, are there any other nuances that you're going to be adding to your client experience that continues to elevate the luxury feel?
I haven't actually thought about my current offers, but I am creating a mastermind for other finance industry professionals who are ready to be known for their personality, which is kind of what I feel like I'm known for in this
Yeah.
space is definitely personality, definitely standing out, the not crusty dusty like
Mhm.
normal accountant. So, and I'm already interviewing OBMs and, like, community
Nice.
managers. I've got, like, 10 interviews just this month.
Holy
Um,
shit.
yeah. I had one today this morning, actually, and it went really well. I was very impressed
Good.
with her. So, yeah, so I'm already, like and it's probably not gonna be launched until after tax season
Yeah.
if I have to guess. Like, I need to poll my audience, but I was thinking, like, February, but I'd probably be closer to, like, late April.
Yeah.
Just the nature of who's
Timing.
involved.
Yeah. Your industries. Yeah.
Um, but and everything that I'm doing in that program is gonna be high end, gonna be a very luxurious experience. Like, I've got so much cooked up, just so many ideas, and, like, I really everything about what I'm talking to these OBMs about is, like, those little minute details that really tip something over from being, like, just a mastermind to an experience that they've never had before and that that they leave like, "Holy shit," like, "That was incredible." And even, like, including that human touch that as much as I love AI note takers and stuff like that, and they're excellent for summaries and transcriptions, I really want somebody my right hand, whoever this OBM is gonna be, to be able to pull out profound moments and, like,
Yes.
excellent coaching bits and, like, you know, bring out the, like, very like I said, the minutia and,
Yeah.
make it really individual to each of the participants, so
Yeah. Well, and what's cool is I think that like using systems and support will allow you to get to do that more. And like
yeah.
using your tools to create that bespoke experience. I have been talking about it on threads a little bit where my prediction for 2026 is that the bespoke custom luxury service is going to be craved even more. People are going to want
Mhm.
that even more of past surface level, again, past like, here's the summary of the notes. Thank you so much. Now what can I do with that and how does it apply to me?
Right, right, right.
And it's taking it that next step when you can, um, that I think is gonna really help service providers stand out next year.
Yeah, when I also think about, like, my current offers, I really think the luxury thing this year is gonna be the consistency. Like, I think there's
Agreed.
something so like, you like, s like, important about the consistency and, like, just doing what you say you're gonna do. So, like, yes, I have all these amazing like tidbits and like little things that I offer in my current offers, it's just going to be like, okay, can I just continue to do that over and over and over again so that people
Yes.
can actually rely on me?
Yes. And that's part of my radical transparency is, and I talked about this with a client. I screen shared her. So I built another tool. Um, it's basically it's like Airtable interfaces, but better and prettier and easier to use.
You remind
But
me of Jordan Gill. Do you know who
I love Jordan Gill. Yep. She's like, I'm gonna
okay.
make a system for that. Yep.
She literally, yeah.
She 100%, 100%. Hers is next level and amazing and incredible.
Yeah,
Mine,
and then she, like, sells them too,
yeah,
so
brilliant. Yeah. I'm like, this just works in this very unique situation, so I don't know if it would apply. I'm sure it would, but so I made basically a project management hub slash client portal. So it lists because my clients, so my business is a little bit unique in the sense that I have my program that is very like async, it's structured, there's a methodology, it's fully functioning. But then I have my
right.
one-on-one consultant work that is very like, here's what we're tackling together, here's what I'm implementing, and my team is taking on for you. And there are a lot of, to-dos that are mentioned in meetings and in an email and all of these different places. And so consolidating that in one spot. But what I'm learning about my clients on that side is that a lot of them like the idea of tech, but they're very overwhelmed with like how it's all connected and okay, how did we set this up again and how is it actually working? And so what I'm integrating as part of their project management is, hey, remember, because I just today, this morning, I got an email from a client that was asking about something that we had decided like 6 weeks ago. We had already talked about it. We'd already brainstormed it. We already created the collateral, approved it, set up the systems. It was functioning, but they forgot and they forgot like how it's all connected. And so I had to go refresh my memory about, "Oh,
Mm,
yeah, when someone signs up on this form, this tag is added and then they get this sequence and then this is what this means. And so I was able to pull that pretty quickly because I know where to look. And so I explained it to them and they were like, "Oh yeah, okay. I remember now that we already talked about that." And so in my brain, I'm like, "Okay, this is an opportunity." Again, I never want a client coming to me and saying, "Wait, I'm confused." And so if
right.
I can now build something in the portal that says, here is this mini project that we did. And if you click into it, here's the kind of visual mind map
The
of how
mind
it
map,
looks.
yeah. Mhm,
Exactly. Here's the if this then that, or here's the visual. And remember, here are the links that we created, and here's the rules, and here's
right.
what happens. Because they're all just very like, they're tech shy, I think is the best way to describe it. And they're just like, I don't really know how that works. I just want you to set it up, but I also need to know how it works so that I can actually
Mhm,
use it. And so I'm excited to roll something. I don't know how I'm going to integrate it into the portal yet. I just thought about it today. But it's stuff like that that like I get excited to build out and make really functional for clients
yeah.
and again, that's how I over deliver. I never over deliver in scope because like you paid me for this and
Mm,
this is what I'm going to give you,
right,
but I over deliver I hope in the communication and the experience.
right. Well, and that's, like, goes back to the individuality of it and just, like I said before, everything I do is white glove, so if somebody needs like, I helped a client file her LLC in Kentucky, which, like, I don't offer really, but I like support it. We got on a call together and I walked her through just based on my knowledge because I'm not a lawyer and like that's definitely a legal thing, but I've done it for myself and I know a lot more about the process than the average person might.
Yeah.
Um, so there's a lot of things I like and I represent them to like Relay Bank support or like Stripe support
Yeah.
or whatever it is. So like I'm doing a lot of that. If they get hit with a fee, I'm like asking for it to be reversed, like all of that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
which is
You're
like
like their advocate, I feel like, is that
yeah,
being in their corner of like, you don't, yes, you're going to set up their books and help them understand their finances, but also like be their advocate for those nuances of connecting the dots or the fees or
right.
whatever it might be of kind of owning that department for them.
Right. And I know like that's super important to my clients that they can just come to me and be like, "Megan, I need you to handle this for me."
Yeah.
And I can be like, "Hell yeah, like give me 5 seconds and I will do this for you." And that's
Yep.
like it's never and like you said, it's never anything that's like out of scope or like that would take me exorbitant amounts of time that I
Right.
should charge for, but like
Right.
if they need something, and that's honestly why I charge the prices that I do, which my prices are very much on the high end for
Yep,
bookkeeper and for fractional CFO, is so that I can include those things and not feel like I need to nickel and dime my client.
exactly. And I was just talking about this with a client friend of mine as well. We're talking about pricing for next year, and my retainer services have gone up just every year that for the past 3 years. And it's absolutely to take into account that, like, there are some of my clients that they wanna talk to me, like, once a quarter, and they're like, "You know what you gotta do. I'll talk to you later. We're good to go." And then I have other clients that are, like, trying to get on my calendar 3 days a week to, like, go over tiny
Right,
nuances for something, and I love them, and it is more helpful, like, we get further faster if we have those conversations, but I'm like, "Yeah,
right.
this needs to be kinda built into the price point of what you're getting because I know you're gonna be on my calendar a lot."
We already know.
We already know. I already know. And it's yeah, it's like, "I can we schedule a meeting so that, I can help you prep I can see how you prep the LinkedIn newsletter or whatever and make sure that it's approved." And I'm like, "I don't need okay. All right. If it makes you feel better, I'm gonna do it anyway." So I kind of treat it like a co-working session. So I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna
Yeah.
do it anyway." So here we are.
My I have a client who's also an accounting firm, and they call them babysitting appointments so that they can, like,
Hilarious.
sit and go through everything line by line, and, like, because
Yep.
some of their client, like, I don't do bookkeeping for their clients, I do their bookkeeping, um, but so they have some of their clients that have hundreds of, like, uncategorized or, like, ask my accountant or whatever category they use, um,
It's my
that
account.
need, like, clarity, and, like, so they have to, like, they have to get these people on a call and sit down with them, and look, I get it, like, a lot of business owners, CEOs, they're squirrel-brained, or they don't have the time, whatever it is, like,
Yep.
and I do have one client who and she self-proclaims, like, she's like, "I need hand-holding,"
Mm.
and if she has an experience with a service provider that is, um feels distant to her, like, if they don't talk to her very often, or, if they check in once a quarter or whatever it is, she's unhappy, and so, like, we have a monthly call, like, I have her pay for a retainer on top of the bookkeeping services so that we can have a monthly call, and she doesn't even read the summaries I send over to her, we'll go over everything that I've already sent to her on the call, which, like, I'm happy to do, you
Yep.
know?
Well, and that's I think, like, part of the conversation that's missing in the one-on-one service space is that is part of the work. That is this industry. You can
Yeah,
be to whatever degree you want it to be, and we all, yes, need to set our own boundaries. I'm not saying, like, let a client just book a 90-minute call with you every day, but
right,
this is the one-on-one work. And I think, like, the conversation that's happening online so much about getting out of client work and why are you still sitting in meetings and why are you still doing this? Because it's the industry, dumbass. Like, I don't know what else to tell you.
yeah, there will never not be a need for
Right.
one-on-one intimate service.
Yep, yep. And I promise you, I've said this every year, but it's still true. I promise you, if that is the industry you're in and you care to be in it, like, don't be in this industry if you don't care about it, service work, like, period.
Right,
But if you're listening to this, then you do. If that's the industry you're in, and if you choose to prioritize customer service, experience, attainability by your clients, you will be the top 1%, period.
for sure, for sure.
Because
Yeah,
no
it
one else
makes
is
such a
doing
big
it.
difference. It makes a huge difference, and I will say, like, one of the things that I've come to learn over 7 years of business is that more features or throwing more things in does not mean better experience.
Nope. 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 And I'm the person who argues because my container is literally like pick your thing, eliminate the rest, go all in on only the things
Right.
that are needed to provide your result. So, like, I'm cutting things out of offers left and right. But it is
Mhm.
actually truly a disservice to your clients if you're putting too much in the container because it distracts from them actually getting the result that they came to you for, that they care
Yeah.
about getting. And I wish everyone would kind of pause and reflect of like, are you putting in that extra thing to make your ego feel better about what you're charging, or because it legitimately is gonna help them achieve that result?
Right. Right. And on top of that, it's like, are they even asking for the things that you're putting in?
I bet
Like
not.
I have been operating on this new ethos of like, don't give them anything they're not like literally begging for.
Mhm, mhm.
Because I am a manifesting generator in human design, and I have 100 excellent ideas a day,
Yep,
and they're not all for me to put out into the world. If I put all of my ideas out into the world, I would be exhausted. I would be,
yep,
and nobody would be buying them, which is exactly how my other business was not successful because I had not learned this lesson.
yep.
And I would just be like, oh my God, what if I did this? And like popped it up on my stories. Nobody bought. And I was like, cool. Okay. Moving on.
Okay, next thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, I this new ethos of, like, they have to literally be begging for it. I have and this mastermind, nobody was begging for it, but I knew that it was, like, legacy work for me, and
Yeah,
I'll admit, like, the first few times I talked about it, I got crickets. Nobody responded. But now I have 7 people on the wait list already,
yes.
and it's gonna be a max of, like, 10 to 12 people in the first round, so it's like, it's and I'm getting more and more. I call them I've got an index that I created called the cravings
Yes.
index,
Nice.
and the cravings are starting to, like, rack up, so, like, I'm
Yep.
getting more and more, like, buzz around this topic. So, it's not to say, like, you can only create offers that your audience is already asking for, but, like, the little things like a podcast, like, I'm not gonna start a podcast unless people want me to start a podcast because everybody fucking has a podcast,
Right,
so
right, right. Well, and, like, I know if we're talking about podcasting for just a second, mine is I can't shut up about business stuff. And people are like, if I could just talk to you for a little bit, I know I would get clarity. And I'm like, great, you can do that for free twice a week, every week. How about that? And it serves such a great purpose for me to verbal process and like understand shit in my own business and get to talk with new people and like build visibility and connections in a different way. And I've landed clients from it and they've like, oh, I listened to this episode and immediately like booked a call with you. And so I'm like, great. I didn't anticipate it to be that direct of a lead pipeline, but
right.
hey, now it is, and that's wonderful. What I love about what you're doing with the mastermind specifically is the bookkeeping, finance, attorney, CPA space, whatever is so fucking dry and boring and gross. And there I can think of you and one other person, maybe one more, that I feel like have a very unique brand and that are in this traditionally dry space. And I think for so long, like, it feels so, like, not kosher to be as branded as you are in this space, and that is the point of, like, doing what has worked forever, but doing it, like, 3% differently than how everyone else is doing it is, like, the magic sauce of growing in this space, and if
Yeah.
you can get other dry professionals to have a fucking personality in their finance space, I would love that.
And it's such a travesty too, because all of my bookkeeper friends are, like, the coolest fucking
Yes,
people, and I'm like, "Dude, like,
do
why can't
that.
I see this?" Like, yes, like, tell me about it on your social media, like, why aren't you showing me this? And I mean, yes, of course, like, a lot of people don't actually have personalities, but I think it's more about that they don't they don't see it, so they don't know how to emulate it. And
Yeah,
so it's like, so I feel like I'm setting an example. I mean, not to, literally just talk about how
100%.
amazing I am all the time,
Do it,
but
do it.
I feel like I'm setting an example a little bit. And I also, weird side quest I went on over the last few months. I've been writing threads for people, so I've been ghost writing threads, and because randomly I'm like really good at it,
That's
and I
hilarious.
yeah, it was a crazy offer, and it started off super cheap because I was like, this isn't about the money. I'm not even
Yeah,
a
we'll
professional
see.
copywriter. Like, I'm not promising anything from these threads, and, like, people just, like, started buying them, and I was like, "Oh, fuck, I need to raise the price because, like, I keep selling out." And I've raised the price twice now and also lowered the deliverables because, whereas, like, you were getting 30 posts at the beginning, now you're only getting 25 because I'm just like,
Mhm.
I
That's
don't
a
know.
lot.
Yeah. Anyway, I've written threads for several other, accounting industry professionals. I've had like 4 or 5 out of like 15 people that I've written for so far have been industry professionals, and every single one of them I've been able to like really pull out their personality and like, cuz I get to write as if, like, seeing them through how I
Yeah.
see them,
Yeah.
and, like,
Yeah.
pull out their personality and be like, "This is how I see you, and, like, this is how you can present yourself," and it just, like,
Yes.
gives them so much clarity of, like, "Oh, this is how I can show up online, and, like,
Yes.
this is how I can show up on social media," and that was really, like, the impetus of this whole mastermind is, like, being like, "I know that the industry professionals are begging to be known for their personality.
Yep.
How can I help them?"
Yep. I love that. I can't wait to see how this container unfolds for you, and I
Yeah, neither
definitely
can
wanna
I.
keep hearing how it progresses because, like, new beginnings like this are my new beginnings built on solid foundations are, like, my favorite thing because I don't I don't love, like, the new first beginner stage anymore. I lived in that for so long, I worked in that for
Mm,
so long that I'm like, I like to dial up the results, and dialing up only happens when there's, like, an existing foundation, and so it's really cool to see something so thoughtful and intentional plugged into a space that makes so much perfect sense, and so it'll be
yeah.
really interesting to see how that and I think, like, if especially if you have any sort of in-person aspect to your mastermind, getting to over deliver in the experience there is so it's so much easier in an in-person space. It's
Yeah.
expensive, but it's
Yeah.
easier. But that'll be really cool to see if that's something that you integrate.
Yeah, well, I think in the first couple rounds, probably not, but it's definitely
For
something
sure.
that's in the works. And I've already got like mastermind specific merch designs in my head and like sending them a box of goodies when they sign on to the mastermind, just like super fun,
I love
little
that.
unique stuff like that. So,
Yeah. I always wanted to be the person to send gifts after enrollment, but I don't love receiving them, and so I love because I guess to me, all the gifts I've ever gotten from, like, joining a mastermind and joining a program, like, are just things I don't want, and so
yeah.
I've always been like, "Well, I would wanna go the extra mile to figure out, like, specifically what would make
Mm.
this person just fall head over heels with this thing, like, do I know that they love coffee, so I get them something coffee related, but I had to know that about them first."
You should check out Box Fox. Have you heard of
Okay.
them?
I feel like yes.
You can so I have worked with them, on their, like, corporate gifting side, so
Yeah,
they print branded a bunch of stuff for me, and they keep all of the, inventory, and they ship it out when I
nice.
tell them to ship it out. Um, so actually, I can show you the box, it's really
Oh, yeah,
big.
show me.
This is the box.
My gosh, that's so good. That's huge too.
I know, isn't it? It's, like,
That's
massive.
massive.
And so
That
it's
is really beautiful.
got my logo on here, and it's, like, it's just, like,
Oh,
a
I
big old
love those.
box.
Well, and
But,
you know, like, every millennial that you send that to is going to say, "This is a good box, I gotta keep this box."
yes, but on the opposite side of, like, if you don't wanna go with, like, set merch, you can, like, build individual boxes and send them to people, and they can, like, they'll ship
Okay,
everything, and
that's
it's
super
really
cute.
neat. You can, like,
Yeah,
build a box.
I love that. Yeah, I am raising the price of my 12-month container next year, so I think maybe once I do that, then I can factor in box stuff because that would be really cute.
Yeah, well, and one bookkeeping thing about
Tell
gifts
me.
specifically, there is a $15 limit on writing off a gift per client per gift. The way you can like get around that is if you brand it, you can write it off as advertising instead of
Oh, smart. Okay.
just as a
Yeah.
gift.
I would definitely wanna brand it.
Yeah.
just 'cause
I
they're
mean, I've
cute.
sent like $100 worth of a gift and just like put $15 of it to the write off and then the rest of it goes to like owner's draw or whatever. So,
Right. Right. Okay. Yeah, no, that's a good idea. I used to do branded boxes. I had like a physical product side business for a couple of years, and I had a subscription, and people, it would just be like mystery boxes of jewelry. But
yeah.
the boxes, it was like this beautiful terrazzo print with like a mustard yellow inset and then the logo on top. It was beautiful. And people were like, I'm signing up to also get that box because I want that box.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful box.
People have been begging me for merch for a very long time because they see the boxes that I send to my clients and they're like,
Yeah.
I literally had someone be like, your merch is my Roman Empire.
I love merch. I am the, like, if we stop at a gas station on a road trip, I'm buying something. If it's a T-shirt, a
That's so
coffee
funny.
mug, I don't care. Every concert we go to, I'm gonna buy a shirt. I live for the merch. I'm a merch girly.
Can we talk about raising prices really quickly? Because
100%.
I'm not raising my prices in 2026, and I feel like that's controversial.
Well, I'm not raising mine until Q4 of 2026.
Okay.
So technically 2027, I will I my core offer has fluctuated from like being a very one-on-one done for you 7 to 10,000 dollar container that has now evolved into a completely done with you asynchronous 12-month container, and it's 2,500. So it's shifted drastically. It's a very similar result, but it's done with you, and there's, again, you are doing a lot of the initial work, and then I'm polishing off things. And so because of that, the price has changed. Because of the asynchronicity, the price has changed. And the amount of feedback, revisions, rewriting that I'm still
Mm,
doing for this price point is kind of insane. And
yeah.
so I'm looking at bumping it back up at the end of next year, but I am on a
I was
journey
gonna
for
say
more.
2,500 is a steal.
It's this fucking steal. I'm on a journey for more, like, I wanna get quicker wins for my clients, and so I want more people to flood the container so I can
Mm,
basically break it and make it even better to go back up to 35 or 4,500 and just go from there.
I love
So
that.
I have
Yeah.
ulterior motives, basically.
Yeah, well, and I've raised my prices, so like I said, this I'm only like a little over a year old, and I've raised my prices exponentially and many, many times over the last year. So I'm like finally at a place where I feel like, okay, this feels really good for everyone coming in, and now I just basically need to catch everybody up that is on lower
Yeah.
tiers, like the current clients that I have.
Well, and I think that, like, for your industry, The the delivery remains the same, and unless, if they're adding another business, that's a completely separate project, I would imagine that you treat it as such. Um, but to me, your industry specifically is one of those where it is such a very clear, if I bring on this many clients, I now need to hire a bookkeeper, which you did. And now I can handle this many more clients, and here's the revenue
Right,
increase. It's just such a very clear stair step of like, get
right,
support, serve more clients, make more money. Get support, serve more clients. So for you, it isn't necessarily about raising the price, it is getting more people and deciding, okay, well, how many bookkeepers do you want to manage? And what
right.
of you is, where are you at capacity no matter how many bookkeepers you have? And where is that math of it all?
Right. And it's interesting because I think the nature of like bookkeeping specifically, especially with all of the software that we have now, it's like the majority of the work is at the beginning when you're onboarding, when
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
setting up all the rules, when you're getting used to the client and getting the SOPs and everything set up. And then once you have that in place, the monthly maintenance is incredible, like way easier. Um and so, like, it may not be that I can take on a lot of people at a time because the lion's share of the work is, like, at the onboarding point, so I only onboard, like, maybe 2 clients, 2 to 3 per month,
Mhm.
but the threshold of how many I can have overall is much higher once they're in that maintenance phase.
Right, right. And is your maintenance phase cheaper than that initial?
It's not, no.
It's not. Okay, okay. Yeah. And it doesn't need to be. It's just interesting to say, okay, I mean, if I were you, then if it's not and it's the same rate, I would raise the price of your onboarding
Yeah,
and
and that's the thing
start
is that
there.
I don't do because a lot of bookkeepers charge that initial, like, QuickBooks setup or, like, their chart
Sure.
of accounts setup and everything like that. They charge a project rate for the beginning, for the onboarding,
Mhm.
and then it'll go down to the maintenance rate, but I don't charge a
Yeah.
project basis at the beginning.
Yeah. Would you be able to bring on people who could help in the onboarding, like, so that you could take on 4 instead of 2?
Yes. Um, I right now my current bookkeeper is helping me in the maintenance phase. So
Right, right.
she's got she's got all the clients that I have currently. But everybody that I onboarded this past month, I have taken care of and then
Mhm.
we'll pass off to her once I have the SOPs and everything set up.
Yep, yep. Yeah, I think, like, to me, the opportunity that service providers don't let marinate is, like, you just brought on this new bookkeeper, like, let's exist in this space and see how much additional revenue you can bring on because you don't have
Yeah.
to do the maintenance of X amount of client work now. Okay, what does that look like math-wise? And then the next goal would be, okay, did that free up so much of your time that actually you can now onboard 4 people a month because you know that you're sending them right to someone else? Maybe. If not, then that's your next lever to actually look at. But maybe that doesn't come for 6 more months once this person is, like, really established and set
Right.
on.
And that's the other thing I learned from my friend Faith. She talks a lot about hiring and um, just the amount of intentionality and almost babysitting you have to do,
Yes.
especially if it's I mean, if you're working with, like, somebody who's in their zone of genius, like an OBM that I bring on, yes, I expect to have to explain the vision, but I also expect them to know that they need to upload the video recordings and the transcripts and, like, things like that. I expect them to know
Yeah.
that. But a bookkeeper is like, they're coming into my processes and doing things how I like to do them. So she's just like very she is um she hammers home the fact that, like, even if you're not looking to, like, spend a lot of time training people, it is up to you to make sure that they have everything they need, and it's gonna take she's like, "It takes at least 6 months
Yeah.
to train
Yes.
someone properly."
Yep.
Yeah. So I honestly
100%.
it's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of work in this initial month, and things are going slowly, but it's only gonna get faster from here, so
100%. And to me, it'll be interesting to see it's like, okay, in 6 months, when this person feels solid, do they then help shadow you on board while you hire another bookkeeper to basically
Right,
replace her role? But then that's gonna be another 6 months before she could maybe take on her own onboardings, which is fine. Again, that's how
right,
business works. Like, there is no instant gratification, especially in scaling and doing it very intentionally and honoring the luxury experience and your clients and that offloading and all of that. But I think the decision of you needing to make of, like, that shifting for sure more into firm agency life, and is
yeah.
that what you want?
Yeah. I mean, that's been initially the structure of the Hot Girl CFO was going to be an agency where you got a tax person, a CFO, and a bookkeeper, and it was like, this team of hot girls that were just for you, and it was supposed to be an all or nothing thing, like, where you come to us, you get the whole team, or you get, we don't just do bookkeeping, we don't just do taxes. It's
Mhm.
like that was the niche that I really wanted, and I've found that some of my clients, I've only lost one this way. I say lost, she decided to go with a firm who could do CFO, tax, and bookkeeping, which I don't have the tax piece right now. I am
Okay.
studying to get my enrolled agent
Oh,
certification.
congrats, that's exciting.
So I know I just started, like, last week, so it's
Oh
gonna be like
my
a year,
gosh.
but
Yeah.
yeah. But people are I'm already seeing that agency model Like, I need to make the decision, am I gonna go that route or am I gonna stay where I am? And, like, right now this one of the reasons why I brought on the bookkeeper was to kind of start to build out that team, and until I can find the perfect tax person, it's gonna be me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, and I think that it being you to establish the process and the experience first is
Right.
critical anyways, and we all don't have to go learn to be the role and the person in order to do that, but I think it is important for you to have that skill in this specific industry. But for me, I would just kinda look at the math of it all, like, there's conversations on threads all the time about being like, if you truly don't want a 3 to 5 to 10 to $15 million business, then don't build that. And
Yeah.
if there are other financial goals that you have outside of this business, like you can make them happen because this business can fund that for you.
Right.
The biggest lesson I've learned over the years is that, you know, this isn't a goal of mine, but like if you want to be a 10 millionaire, that doesn't have to come from your business. It doesn't.
Right.
And
Right.
and so and you definitely know that being in the financial space, so
Well, it's interesting because I've always known that the Hot Girl CFO was gonna be so much more than just me freelancing bookkeeping or
right.
even an accounting firm. Like, I want it to be a global brand that anyone can interact with, even if they're not hiring me for their done for you bookkeeping services. Like, that's the reason why I'm building out merch and
Yeah,
a coaching arm, and as well as like going on media tours. And like eventually, if I adopt that agency structure, I want to step away from being the CFO on staff and like hire a
absolutely.
CFO and be the face of the brand and go on the media tours and do the podcasting and be on billboards and do that. And then, it's just so much bigger than just an accounting firm.
Yeah. Well, and it seems to me then that the, like, end goal is a media company that has done for you services that you
Hmm.
offer, and it's just the flip of right now, you're doing services and you're growing that arm, and it's gotta be super solid for you to get to have the runway of time and cash to spend your time and attention somewhere else and in hiring.
Yeah, well, and to even have like the oh, what's the word I'm looking for? To be known for, like, the
Yeah.
reputation. The
Yep.
reputation is the word I was looking for. To have the reputation of being the done for you service, like, go-to in the space, and then to be able to build off of that reputation and be the media side of it,
Yeah.
because nobody's gonna take you seriously on the media side if your done for you services are shit. Like,
Exactly.
it
Exactly.
doesn't make
Like,
any sense. So, yeah.
well, and I think what's cool is that, again, you're doing what's already proven to be effective in an industry, you're just shifting it 3 to 5%. So, where other people have started, bookkeeping, accounting firms and agencies and have gone more in the designing software and creating the tool and
Mhm.
helping other people with the tool part of it, yours is more of the, like, education, brand, community aspect of it, and no one's
There
doing
will
that.
be a white label Hot Girl CFO
Well, and I
accounting
love that,
app.
but it's part of the it's the cult of the community, it's not like a
Yeah.
QuickBooks competitor, and it might be, but, like, you know what I mean? That's not
That's
what
not
it's
the point
leading
of it,
with.
though.
That's not the point of
Yeah.
it, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, I love it. I think that's exciting,
Yeah.
and
I
I
already
think
know
that
the app that I'm gonna white label. Like, I already have a relationship with the women who created it, so I'm like, "Hell yeah."
I think I might know who you're talking about then, because 'cause they're on Threads.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's so exciting to me, and I
I know.
love this.
And I'm like,
Because I
now
was
I'm at the
about
point of, like, where does it even make sense? Like, when does it make sense? Like, I just hit 1,000 followers, and I'm like, "Okay, can I white label an app and it be, like, successful at 1,000 followers?" You know what I mean? Like, where is, like, the moment where, like, that opportune
right.
moment where I can actually launch that and it be, like, actually successful, so,
Yeah, I definitely think there's like, a visibility era that you could go into once this bookkeeper's
right.
established and you can kind of buy back some of your time. And for you, the decision then is like, okay, I bought back some of my time. Do we bring on more clients and you fill that time with that? Or do you bring on one client to kind of bridge that expenditure of her and then say, okay, I'm going to allocate 5 hours a week or whatever it is to seeking media for this brand.
Right.
And that's podcasting, that's starting small, but I definitely can see, like, you could fucking approach an editor at Forbes and write an article and get your name out there, and there's a lot of, like, even press releases and stuff like a actual
I'm
PR
writing a
campaign.
guest Yeah, I'm writing a guest blog post right now,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is really exciting. Yeah, all I mean, so many opportunities, and it's like
Truly.
I have to remind myself that, like, it doesn't all have to happen right now, and it's
Nope.
not going to,
Mhm.
and that's okay, which I'm like, "Why can't I have it all right now?"
I know. I
So
know.
and I was actually thinking when you said earlier your word of the year, I was like, "Oh, I wonder what my word of the year is gonna be," because I haven't
Yeah.
really put much thought into it yet.
I used to pick a word of the year, and I didn't for the last 2 years, but I picked one every year for about a decade, and it was more something about, like, it was, like, ease or scale
Mm,
or whatever, and it was very, like, businessy focused. But this one to me, I don't know, feel it's obviously business, but, like, impacts the people I already have, and I think that that's a big, in the service space, so many people are so often focused 'cause and I read it in onboarding forms of I've been knee deep in onboarding forms for my program, and every single person is like, "I just need a bigger community. I need a bigger network. I don't have a network.
mm,
I need more leads. I need more referrals." And I'm like, "You don't though. Like, you're not even doing all of these things over here that could increase your revenue
right.
tomorrow." And so to me, it's about how can I help them see all of more of my brain in an easier to understand format because there's so many things I want to say to them and impact and strategize with them, but I also don't want to overwhelm. And so I think that balance is important. That's also why the show
Yeah.
exists, so I could talk about whatever.
Yeah, well, as you were talking, you were like, "Oh, yeah, it used to be, like, ease." I literally was thinking, like, discomfort. Like, I think I want my word to be, like,
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
stretchy or, like,
Yes.
out of the comfort zone, you know what I mean? Because like, especially if I'm launching this mastermind, it already feels very big, very important, very, like, big, hairy, scary goal.
Yeah.
Um, so and then on top of that, I got invited to speak on a panel at this conference in January. So there's gonna be a lot of in-person stuff as
Yes.
well in 2026, so it's just like, just doing all the things and getting
Doing all the
way out
things.
of my comfort zone.
I love that. I love that. Well, I can't wait to see how your 2026 unfolds and definitely, keep me apprised of how that mastermind unfolds because I'm just curious to see how it comes together and I just want and I love what you're doing and so I wish nothing but all the amazing things for next year and beyond for you of just building that
Thank
foundation
you.
and allowing yourself to also just enjoy you just brought on a team member and
Mhm.
enjoy that moment and enjoy the spaciousness that that gets to create before you make your next move of filling that gap immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is why I'm like, now that I'm thinking about it, like, okay, I have a 6-month timeline with this new team member, like, to really see the ease and, like, extra time that I will have is gonna be really nice in 6 months. Or
I
probably
love that.
I'm hoping, like, 4 to 5 months, but
I
yeah.
think you'll start to see a lot at 90 days. So we did a lot of, we worked with a bunch of contractors, like part-time contractors at my old agency, and then we shifted who wanted to shift into a full-time position, we offered it. So we shifted from like 27 plus contractors to 9 full-time employees instead.
Wow.
And we still had some contractors, like our bookkeeper was still a contractor and our Facebook ads person was still
Right.
a contractor, but like internal roles shifted to employees. And even in that transition, there were some new people, so they weren't contractors before, they were brand new to the team when we were bringing on them as an employee, and it was very clear, every hiring person we talked to, every leadership person we talked to was like, "It's gonna take you 90 days to see if this person's even gonna stick around," and at
Mm,
that 90 day, like, almost to the T of that time, it was like, "Oh, they were gonna go because it was not a fit for them, or we were letting them go because it wasn't a fit." If they
yeah.
were there at 90 days, then they're most likely gonna stick around for years, and that proved to be true. Every single hire we brought on, it was either a no thank you at 90 days. If they stayed past that, they were there for 3, 4 years until
Wow.
I left, and it was probably about 9 to 12 months that it was like, "Oh, not only do you know what to do now, but you know more than I do about what you need to do." And
Yeah.
that is an exciting space to be in.
Yeah. And yeah, that's incredible. That's just a great story. And I love that kind of the marker at 90 days. But yeah, and it's also interesting because she is also not as um experienced at bookkeeping as I am. Like, I've been in the industry for 15 years at this point. So, like,
Yeah.
I've been doing bookkeeping for a long ass time, and she is very fresh. I mean, she's only a few years in. So, like, I remember I didn't know barely anything a few
Right?
years in. So, and I learned everything on the job. Like, when I got my accounting degree, we didn't learn how to use QuickBooks in my, classroom
No,
at my
no.
university. So, yeah, it's just like, she's learning. So, yeah,
Mhm.
I'm willing to be patient with it, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's gonna be really cool, and learn from leadership and hiring people when you can. I paid for a leadership consultant to help me basically for the first year of shifting from doing all the work to managing
Mm.
contractors to managing employees was a huge, like, mindset shift for me of how I needed to show up as a leader, as a boss. Like, I was like, "Ew, I made this role for myself. Why? Okay, how can I do it in a way that doesn't feel gross?" And
Right.
learned a lot about what, like, was truly necessary of, like, old school management practices, and then what was, like, that feels stuffy and gross, and I don't wanna do that, and it's not helpful, and deciding the blend of those things, I think, is really important.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really interesting going from contractor to employee.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, generally when you bring on a contractor, it's like, okay, you're signing their contract, they're telling you when they're gonna do the thing and how they're gonna deliver the thing, and then
Yep.
all of that shifts when you bring on the employee. It's like all you, and you have to set the tone from the beginning.
100%. Yep. Yep, and making sure that foundation is solid to bring someone in on is critical, or you're gonna be spending a shit ton of money to learn it with
Yeah.
them, and
Yeah.
that's just
And it's
expensive.
super uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable because, like, yeah, just, like, bringing someone into a system where, like, you may not have everything totally ready to go, especially with,
Yeah,
like, SOPs, and, like, actually learning, "Oh, wait, I should have written this down somewhere. I should have recorded this somewhere, and, like, I didn't even think that they needed this in, like, some sort of format."
yep,
Like, there's just, like, a lot of things that you never think of until somebody's actually in the role.
100%. Well, and I also think that just, like, I never worked corporate, but I've been a consultant for a lot of agencies that are, like, corporate level, and I just remind myself all the time, they are a hot fucking mess, and their new employees don't get any onboarding. They don't get
No.
acclimated for, like, 2 years. Their turnover rate is ridiculous. The mistakes that are made, the things that are missed. My mom works for a, marketing agency. She's an account manager for a marketing agency, and just the stories that I've heard from her last couple of years of just what a hot mess it's been. And it's definitely a lot better today. They've put in a lot of processes and templates and communication and SOPs and all of that stuff. But that shit does not exist for the majority of companies. And like
No.
we look at ours and hold ourselves to this, not, I don't want to say ridiculously high standard, because I think it's the standard that should, like,
Right.
everyone
The
should be
bare
holding them
fucking minimum.
the minimum, and it's like we're doing it because we think everyone else is doing it, and they're not. They're literally not.
No, yeah. My last job at a CPA firm in Manhattan was like, I was just thrown into the fire and, like, expected to know how to do this stuff. I had one person training me on, like, well, I started off as, like, not a bookkeeper. I honestly don't remember the name of the role that I started in, but it
Mhm.
was, like, much more like admin, like creating these weird, like, filers for the CPA firm. Anyway, um, but yeah, and then I was there for a year and they fired me and I was like, "Good fucking riddance because y'all have no idea what
Bye.
you're doing." Like, bye. Yeah, and that's when I started my business, was just like, I was just like, I knew I could do it better, and, like, and that's another point of, like, bringing in the luxury aspect is, like, I want people to be like, I want to fucking work at the Hot Girl CFO,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I want to work there. That would be so fun. Or like supportive, or like any other word that you can possibly think of.
Exactly, exactly. We get to make our own rules. We get to decide which ones to follow, which ones to break, which ones to implement, like all of it. And it's overwhelming at times for sure, and also really exciting. And we get to choose your own adventure quite literally every day, and
Literally.
it's fun. Well, Meaghan, thank you so much for coming on today. This Yap session has been
So
amazing.
fun.
It's been great getting to know you and getting a peek at what's coming up in 2026. If you want to remind our listeners or let them know where they can hang out with you online, where they can learn more about your services, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I play on Instagram and Threads mostly. I am at the Hot Girl CFO on both places, and my website is thehotgirlcfo.com. I offer strategic bookkeeping, fractional CFO, and also Threads ghostwriting randomly. And
Apparently.
if you are random side quest. And then if you want to join the mastermind, if you think the mastermind sounds fun as fuck, for
Mm.
industry professionals, finance industry professionals next year, hit me up and I can add you to the wait list. I'm working with a copywriter. We don't even have a landing page yet. Like things are in the works, you
Yeah,
know?
it's being built, and as a founder waitlist person, I bet you could have some input on what it
Yeah.
could shape out to be.
Yeah, literally. And you'll get amazing merch and amazing experience. Everything high end, high end.
Love it. Love it. Well, Meaghan, thank you so much for coming on today. This has been a blast.
Thanks, Emily.
Hey, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Sell the Damn Service. I'm really honored that you spent however many minutes you just did with me. Now, if you could go do me a very quick favor and be sure to like, subscribe, leave a rating and a review for this podcast over on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or, pick your favorite platform. I'm not going to be that choosy. It truly means the world to me. It's how little tiny shows that are like mine, that are self-funded and, being edited in between dinner time and school pickup, it helps us get seen. It's free for you to do and takes just a couple of minutes. And I would love you forever if I could send you an edible arrangement as a big thank you. I would. So instead, consider this giant thank you directed just at you for going to do that. And share this episode or this podcast with a friend who needs to hear it. I love ranting and raving about service-based business strategies. And, I think more people should listen to this show, honestly. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I really, really, really am grateful that you're here, and we will chat very soon.